Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cinema A to B. This week, we are going to talk another Damien Chazelle movie from 2014, Whiplash. Ben, let's get right into it.
So, I don't have it like ranked in my top 10 or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say it. I think this might be one of the best movies made in the last like 20 years. Like, period. Mm-hmm. And for what it is, performance, editing, like even the way it's shot is really pretty creative. This thing is just, it's a monster of a movie. Mm-hmm. And I'll take it one note further, even though his most recent movie didn't really do very well, but Chazelle, man, I think Chazelle's like a top 3 director working today. Mm-hmm. I think it's Nolan. I think it's Denis. I think it's Chazelle. I still have Tarantino up there. There's a couple other directors, but man, this guy just is a master of his craft. So this is only the second time I've seen this, and I don't know if I saw Whiplash in the theater or not. I don't think I did. Unfortunately, it doesn't demand a theatrical to appreciate what's going on here. But yeah, this thing's just crazy excellent. I don't know. I do. I think and did this win Best Picture?
It did. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it won.
No, nominee. Okay, so no, it didn't. It was editing, sound mixing, and then
that's what. Yeah.
Actor in a supporting role for Simmons.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Chazelle won a bunch of awards.
That's right.
What was the 15 Oscars?
Birdman won for Best Picture, which was just terrible.
So this is a weird one to me, where like Chazelle wins a bunch of awards for La La Land, and without question, I think this is actually a much superior, better film. And
I really like La La Land a lot, but
I do too. But it just goes to show like they don't always get it right. But I'm kind of curious. Audience doesn't know some of your kind of background on some of this stuff, and I'm just curious if you were going to drop it. But
that I'm a very mediocre drummer and not nearly at the level that even Teller is, let alone
that you were even a drummer. Period is kind of more than I can say.
So I mean, as a drummer, like there's a lot of really cool technical stuff that happens in here, and there's actually also a lot of trash stuff. Like there are a couple things I'm like going, that's matter. Like, why would you do that? Like some of when he's like really like trying to hit it real fast. Yeah. I'm like, no, I mean, like there are techniques that get around that and stuff, but like what he's doing, I'm like, that's not helpful. Like that's not really good. And there's a couple really good YouTube videos out there that kind of go over like which techniques that Miles Teller uses in the movie are legit or just like this is a stupid thing that they're just trying to, bring up stuff. But you could also be talking about my love affair for J.K. Simmons, because I absolutely adore this man and will watch anything that's that he's in. And my goodness, this is probably my favorite performance of his.
Yeah.
By a large margin. But as an actor, he is so versatile. He is so amazing. I don't know how he's able to have such a presence in all the myriad of characters he has, but every time he's on screen, I'm automatic in whatever movie he's in, I automatically am drawn to him, right? I don't know what it is about him, but I just think he is excellent. And I think he just needs to be put in more stuff. Like I would watch. He was in a TV show where basically he played like a blind lawyer that only had like half a season, but my goodness, it was so good. I forget the name of the show, but both Laura and I were just absolutely enthralled. I love it. I love J.K. Simmons. I've said it before on the podcast. I'm going to continue to say it because absolutely, yes, I'm here for it because of J.K. Simmons. But I agree with you on so many levels. This movie does that kind of emotional roller coaster, or like puts you into places to feel things, but doesn't force you to feel them. Like, I know we've talked about this before, but it's like very much like brings you on the journey and allows you to arrive at the destination kind of yourself, to like that emotional roller coaster. And there's so many ups and downs, and J.K. Simmons as Fletcher is scary. Like he is frightening.
He is.
And Chazelle does such a great job of making him such a fearful character. Like, in some ways, I kind of feel like he's similar to Joe Pesci in like Goodfellas, where like you really don't know where he's gonna, like, is he gonna freak out? Is he gonna be okay? Where's he gonna land? Like, he's just crazy, and absolutely just Simmons just plays it to the T. Absolutely stunning. And I mean, Miles Teller is fantastic in this as well. Like, still excellent as Andrew. Like, really impressed with, I mean, I'm a big Teller fan as well, but
yeah,
for me, I mean, Simmons deserved that Oscar 100%. Like,
without question.
Without question, I'm glad he won it. I do think this movie should have won Best Picture out of 2015. Just got like the quick look I did when I was trying to find out what actually won that year, but...
Well, I'm glad it won Best Editing, because that was kind of my big takeaway watching it, was just how great the edit and how fearless the edit was. Even from the get-go, from the jump, a lot of quick cuts to rhythm. You know, the jazz, there's a jazz element to the edit itself. It's it feels almost improvised, kind of the way that they will kind of cut together some scenes. Not so much scenes, but like the transitionary scenes to get from one scene to the next. They'll kind of do like a jazz motif with the score, and then match the edit pretty well to it. And they get very creative with cutting these music performances to keep them interesting. And you can tell that they were shooting a lot of material, what they needed to be able to cut, because they're constantly not really cutting back to like the same angle again and again and again. It's like, I don't know how many times they would have shot Miles, on drums, like, and how many cameras they had rolling on cymbals and snare, and like, to keep it cohesive. It's mastery at every turn. The lighting is really nice. You'd swear this was shot on film because it has such a rich palette, but it's just Arri Alexa. And not only is it Arri Alexa, it's Arri Alexa in just 1080p HD. It's not even shot. It was not even shot in 2K. It was mastered in 2K for theaters, but it was Arri Alexa and then a little Canon D camera that they poked in some places because it's a nice small form factor. And it was just HD. It's the color information was high end to go for the color grade, and the color grade's really good. The theater where the girl works at, it's really warm and inviting, and then in contrast to like where he practices drums is pretty sick, almost sickly looking. There's like a green to it. Yeah. There's a lot of negative space or negative fill in the movie. Like, a lot of it's in darkness and shadow. Like, if it's a very dark, it makes sense, right? Because the subject matter is dark and the image meets that. It's really dang good.
It is really dang good.
Like, that's why I had to say, like, you have to go back like decades to find anything of this caliber that's like this. That's like more of a character piece, no fancy sets, like
no big, like,
no
spectacle to draw you in.
You can even tell they're working on a budget with the big final act. The crowd shots are like very minimal and they're in darkness. Like, they don't spend a bunch of time. It's all what's happening on stage, and it's creative and saved money because you're not bringing those people in. But yeah, like you said, Simmons is the king of the day in this. He is terrifying. He's just let go of like all of his humanity in the pursuit of like perfection, basically. I like that the movie raises questions and doesn't give you answers.
Absolutely.
Like, it just doesn't. It's not going to. And I think more movies should do that. Yeah. Raise interesting moral questions, creative questions, and then it's up to you to decide, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? I don't know. I'm probably on the side that it's not really, but I probably place a little more value on how we try to treat people. But I think the movie's correct that you pursue greatness like this, and so many areas of your life are going to have to fall away. Yeah. Like, you see it with Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, like, you see it in sport, the family sacrifices, the personal relationship sacrifices, just from a time standpoint, which I appreciate that whole scene where he's breaking up with her and he basically just lays it all out. Like, this is what's going to play out.
Yeah. And he chooses his passion over the girl,
Yeah.
which is a valid thing that many people do. I mean, some people don't. Some people pick the girl over the passion or the significant other over the passion, but Andrew doesn't. He picks his passion, and it makes for a very interesting scene. Like that whole scene there is also just done really well. Like there's so much in the dialogue there that just draws you in, and of like, you're kind of feeling this too of like, oh my goodness, what the heck is just happening? Like this is intense, Like there's moments I'm like, I don't want to be watching this. Like, can I just like skip past this scene, or whatever? I'm like, this is so awkward, like very not cringy bad, but just kind of like, this is rough, And so, my goodness, like,
are you dragging or rushing?
Oh, you're dragging or rushing. Oh my goodness.
So you do know the difference.
Yeah. Just oh my goodness. Or even the first like true interaction where he's just like, when he walks in and Andrew stops and Fletcher's just like, why'd you stop playing? And he starts playing again. Yeah. He's like, I didn't ask you to start playing. Why? Like it's just mind game after mind game. It is.
And the guy he brings in.
Yeah.
Like he was playing mind games with him the whole time.
Yeah.
Which makes it so much more satisfying when I love that shot, that edit where Teller, like, he's like, what are you doing? He smashes the cymbal and it like pops up, almost hits Fletcher in the face, like kind of like a drummer's FU. And he's like, I'll cue you in. He's just like, I'm done. Like I'm not going to play by your rules anymore. Like it's so satisfying. And the irony there is that that's what he needed to do all along. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, nobody had the gumption to like stand up to this guy in a musical way. And then but it's like, I remember the first time I watched it, I wasn't that satisfied with when Fletcher kind of like gives him like the nod and the grin at the end. Yeah. I was just like, oh, you're still a piece of trash.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what you were talking about too. What I love about what Chazelle has done is that he doesn't give you the answers. He doesn't give you the ending. In this moment, they are counterparts, so they are like coworkers, or like they're together. Yeah. But he doesn't show you that, or give you the stupid text at the end of like, and then they went on to have this beautiful friendship. Like, no, like you don't know, like they could have walked off and still thrown stuff at each other and hate each other. But in this moment, in this exact moment, when perfection or whatever greatness happened, they were together, right? Like they were on the same page for just a small moment, right? Even though Fletcher did all of this as a long con to screw him over for, calling him out, right? It's just,
totally did. Yeah.
This is like very well thought out and like, oh, hey, I'm going to get the kid that screwed me out of my job and I'm going to put him in front of all these very important people and ruin him. Right. And it's just like, there's so many tense moments in this movie, just absolutely amazing. And going back on the budget, I mean, it looks fantastic. It feels fantastic. I mean, it was like $3.3 million that they made this for. Like nothing. That is nothing. And they made
everybody was working it.
Yeah, scale. Yeah, probably. I mean, and then take home $50 million from the box office
worldwide. Yeah.
And think about it. This is 2014, so we are well into Marveldom, like of when the spectacle has taken over in theaters, where people are, those things are getting close to $1 billion, at the box office. You have this little thing making $50 million at the box office. It's just stunning. I don't love the fact, but I do find it amazing that Chazelle really wrote this, really wanted to get it done, but no one would give him money. So he made a little short that he brought into Sundance, and then that's how he got funding. And I'm like, sometimes you're going to have to like, that's why I think there is a place still for shorts. And like, especially in this day and age, I mean, with time being a factor, shorts are huge, but I do also love the fact that J.K. Simmons is also in the short. Like, right. Yeah, like he reprises his role in the full movie too. And so like, I feel like he gets an extra little nod, another extra little love from me.
That's probably the best use of a short for me is proof of concept for investors and stuff. It's not the film festival circuit. You've got to be really picky with what festivals you enter your shorts into. They're more networking events than they are like to try to take home an award. Like nobody cares about the award. Like it's really it's the contacts you make at those, and so you have to be very picky with which ones you submit to, and they cost a bunch of money, and it's a good way to get your stuff exhibited on one hand, but really it's more of a proof of concept and proof of vision and tone for a much larger project, hopefully. But I know we always got obsessed with festivals and stuff, but we never had the money to like submit to a bunch of them anyway. They were so pricey.
Side note that I don't think they do it anymore, but when we first moved here, there was a movie theater in DC that every Oscar season they would do for one ticket. You could watch all of like the live action shorts, and then for another ticket, watch all of the animated shorts, and then like all the shorts for like, I loved that aspect of it, like of being able to go to that theater and do that. So, but I don't think they do that anymore. At least they didn't do it this past Oscar season. So it was frustrating.
And I've mentioned it a long time ago, but Vin Diesel's short that he directed and starred in, Multifacial, is single-handedly got him a role in Saving Private Ryan. So you have the right people see it, but it's maybe something can happen. But I like that Chazelle basically made his own opportunity, like wasn't waiting. There's a lot of value in that. I think I fell victim to that in LA of like, that I just needed to like wait for my opportunity. You know what I mean? Like
opportunity would come knocking and you just have to answer the door instead of actually like making it yourself. Yeah.
You got to make your own opportunity. And now more than ever, like with the state of the industry, like nobody's waiting around for your idea, or like they're not. Well, you just, you need to go make it.
And what I remember one of my acting coaches told me was basically like, your first job is always based off who you know. And then it's the second job is based off what you can do kind of a situation. And I think that's even much more so nowadays than even previously,
Well, it's like there's a pretty good YouTuber, and he had a nice 25 minute video on like, stop waiting around for like your opportunity to like come to you, basically. I forget the name of his channel. Rubidium is his name. He's a filmmaker. He's originally Australian, lives in, I think, Vermont. But it's a really good like sound advice of like, stop waiting around to like, nobody's going to make your movie for you, or like just show up and be like, oh, here's a bunch of money. Like you're going to have to make some small stuff and build your way up. Maybe you will get a break with an actor that's interested in doing work for you and that can kind of carry it. But I think we're on the precipice of more of this kind of stuff, of more of these Anoras and Whiplash, where the budget's not crazy high. Maybe you do convince a pretty legit actor to come in and help you craft the picture. But it's tough. But Chazelle's like, obviously the talent is there and he had the drive. I'm just curious, since he wrote it, like what kind of personal experience like is he pulling from for some of these characters? Because Fletcher is not one or two dimensional. I mean, this is a really
well thought out character.
Thought out character that's mostly slimebally, but then, oh man, I've met people like this that like out in public, just smooth talking. Oh, great to see you, and then but you get them behind closed doors. It's a different animal.
Talk so bad about people that they have just said good things about.
I guilty enough though. I laughed so hard. I'd forgotten all about when he's trying to figure out whose instrument is out of tune.
Oh,
and he makes that guy cry and he leaves and he's like, to be honest, he wasn't out of tune. Erickson, you was actually him, but he didn't know the difference, so that was enough.
Yeah. Oh,
I was like, gosh,
that's how terrible this guy is.
The mind games were just endless. Yeah. It's a really complicated movie, because name another movie where like the villain, the antagonist, like, well, no, there's some other movies, but like brings out kind of like some of the best in
the hero
and the protagonist and the hero. I mean, I guess we just discussed one, which was Unbreakable.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not a common dynamic. I mean, usually they're diametrically opposed to one another. They're not really trying to like, and obviously it's very one-sided with Fletcher trying to push him. And I don't think he tried to push him. I don't think he had any idea that he had anything in him. I think you're right. I think the whole final act was a big revenge job for getting him fired.
Mm-hmm.
And he just happened to rise to the occasion. And then Fletcher does seem to have some sort of principle because it's like, well, I tried to screw you. You did rise to the occasion. I have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think they're going to go out for beer afterwards.
No. That beer that they shared before was the only one they're going to share. But it was definitely one of those things where he's just like, he's looking for greatness, and he has found it in Andrew, and he realizes it. And he saw it previously, obviously. Like, that was why he invited the kid to the thing. So he sees the greatness, and he's just like, finally, this greatness is showing up. The greatness that I've been trying to get out of you is finally here. So he respects that more than his hatred of Andrew. Like, he's just like, I see it. I mean, this is my own take. Say what you will, but like his whole thing is music. His whole thing is getting the best performances, and being perfect or whatever it needs to be. And he just sees it and is just like, all right, let's do it. Let's go. And he's a part of it. I want to be a part of it. I want to be here for it. And they have that moment. And then again, there's 100% they're throwing things at each other in the back room, in the locker room after the show still. Yeah. And never see each other again and hate each other for the rest of their lives. They are not good friends. They are not going to be.
But the message of the movie is like that a lot of that gets pushed to the side anyway. Friendship, companionship, like it's in the pursuit of greatness.
What do you need to sacrifice? Like, in many ways of like, I could have stayed out in LA. I could have pursued that far more heavily, especially in the last couple of years I was there, than what I did. But I met Laura, and my dreams and my priorities changed. And so I took the opposite path that Teller takes in this movie. I picked the girl. I didn't pick the passion. Now, I think that was 100% the right choice for me. But yeah, I was already a failed actor at that point. So like, staying much longer, I'd just be a failed actor for a longer period of time. But that's beside the point. I'm not bitter about it still to this day. But so it's fun because, so many of the hero's choices, especially in these kind of movies, are for the girl or for whatever. So it's kind of interesting to have this take of it picks the passion. It doesn't pursue love. It pursues its own interests.
Well, and he even kind of wrestled with that towards the end when he called her back up to see if there was just something still there. And she, obviously slams the door on that. She's like, well, I don't know if my boyfriend is going to want to go to that. He's like, oh, well, okay. And then, but that was kind of that little nudge he needed to be like, okay, no, this is what I'm going to pour myself back into. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think everybody can agree that Fletcher's like methods are just reprehensible. But as far as like the decision to pour yourself into trying to be truly great at a skill or job or whatever, that's up to the individual. Like you can't. And I like that the movie is not preachy on that. It's just like that's what he chooses to do. There's a mutual like acknowledgement of that at the end, that he's pretty much there. And the audience is kind of left, man, I don't know if I would do that, right? Yeah. You kind of you're putting yourself in Miles' shoes or Andrew's shoes the whole movie anyway. You're just like, man, would I go through this? The hands bleeding, getting berated.
Having chairs thrown at your head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, are you willing to go through this? And on another note, I mean, I definitely believe in that statement that like anything good worth doing is going to be like hard. Like you want a great body, it's going to take a bunch of work. Even if you're genetically gifted, it's going to take a bunch of work in the kitchen, in the gym. You want to get good at anything, it's going to take the 10,000 hours plus. So ultimately it's like, what's your drive, and like where are your priorities? Because I mean, what you said resonates with me. My priorities shifted when we were out there, and I decided, I wanted to put myself in a place where I felt like dating was a little easier and home ownership was a more obtainable and just other priorities. Like, it's fine. And not that those things are mutually exclusive, but I was at this stage in my life where like professionally things weren't going great. And plus the priorities had shifted. And it was like, no, I don't need to continue to be in this place. Yeah. So yeah, the movie raises awesome questions, just like about profession and sacrifice and drive and ambition and all that. Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
I think you said it best. Like, Chazelle is working on another level that most directors are not. You know, there's the handful that he is kind of in league with at this moment in time.
The fact that he can do this and then turn around and do something like La La Land, a musical, and I don't like musicals, but I like that musical. And then First Man, which it wasn't universally appreciated, but I never saw Babylon.
Yeah, neither did I. Well, I think we started the first 20 minutes and then something happened and we stopped and we just never came back to it.
But I'm excited whatever he's like cooking up next, because I think he's really, really, really special. And maybe he just needs to get back to a smaller narrative again and because I think Babylon tried to be a pretty big sprawling movie.
He had a lot of big names in it too. And I mean, you had big names in First Man, but I think it
still felt like a smaller movie.
Yeah, though. It did. I mean, again, as we talked about it, and listeners, you can go back and watch that or listen to that episode on First Man where we discuss it in full. But one of the things to point out is that's a nice little plug for our own podcast right there. That's how you do it, Ben. I just showed you the best way to do it. But I think a lot of people, one of the things that turned people off was the fact that they were thinking about they're seeing a space movie about the first landing on the moon, but no, it was a movie about one guy. It was about him. It was about his character. If you're going to watch
Chazelle, it's character driven.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what people were, why it didn't do it nearly as well is because people were looking for the spectacle or the big space movie, and it wasn't. It was all about the character.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the great character pieces ever, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do really like this movie a lot.
Yeah, and the runtime's really good, like an hour 45, hour 46, something like that.
And it's booking. Like it does. Does not feel long at all.
I mean, they're introduced to each other so early, like
it's almost immediate, I think. Like
the movie doesn't waste any time. By 25 minutes or something, like he's already like in the main jazz band studio, and we're not long after that getting chairs chucked across the room. Not quite my tempo, Alec.
Yeah. All right, I'm free. You were rushing, Ben. You were rushing. My goodness. Oh,
I know. This slapping, especially because he's really slapping him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know there was a fun moment too, I think, was Chazelle wouldn't yell cut when they were doing the drumming scenes, and he would just let Teller basically keep drumming until he gets too exhausted. And I was like, wow, that's kind of a jerk move. Come on. But like I'm sure you got a lot better like coverage. Of Teller going, we're cutting. Why? I'm still playing, but I'm getting tired. Like, and then you're getting those nice moments of where the actor is really breaking down, and you kind of seeing that. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Hey, greatness takes pain.
Damian Fletcher Chazelle.
Maybe that's what it is. He's pulling from his own personality.
We thought he was writing this from the perspective of Andrew. No, Chazelle's Fletcher.
Damian, if you disagree with that, you can certainly come on the podcast and discuss it further with us. And
I'd rather get Simmons on the pod.
Oh, 100%. Simmons,
By the way, Simmons is a big Buckeye fan, so
is he?
He's a diehard Ohio State big awesome. Buckeye fan. Yeah, he's a huge Ohio State fan. Yeah,
fantastic.
So if he ever came on, we wouldn't talk about movies. It would just be 30 minutes of Ohio State lore.
Simmons, I'm just going to tell you that you're the optional third host of the Cinema A to B podcast. We would change it to Cinema A, B, and J podcasts, or S, or whatever article you would like of the alphabet from your name.
He could start his own pod and everybody would listen.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm right. All right, there. Simmons, if you do, let me know. I'll listen.
He is excellent. Like,
oh my goodness,
everything he's done just owns the role.
We watched that. Okay, close your ears, Simmons. I'm sorry. Like I said, we watched that stupid Christmas movie that he was in where he plays Santa Claus or whatever.
Where he's red one.
Yeah. Like
It was a dark movie.
It was. It's fine. It's fun. But he's the best part about it. Like if he wasn't in it, I would never would have watched this movie. But I'm like, he's in it. I'm going to watch it. Yeah. I'm like totally okay with it. So, and I'll probably watch it again next year or this upcoming Christmas because, well, he's in it. And so I think he's fantastic. But yeah, no, that movie was not.
No.
No. Well, you got anything else, good sir?
No.
Awesome.
No, I'm fading fast. Our last episode
of the recording session
of the day. So,
all right. Well, with that, thank you all so much for joining us on our little talk of another Chazelle film, Whiplash. If you haven't seen it, we highly recommend it. Obviously, you listen through it. We've spoiled everything for the most part, but who cares? Go by. It's better if you watch it. If you haven't watched it in a while, revisit it. This is what these are about. Watch it with someone you love or with a good friend and talk about it afterwards and how it made you feel. That's what movies are about, is to have these conversations. That's how Ben and I continue to converse. And now we have to do this with you all watching as opposed to just how we used to do it. But we love it. It's fun. So as I tangent off, I'm going to bring it back and just say thank you all so much for watching this. We're going to be back next week with another episode of Cinema A to B. And possibly Jay if Simmons decides to show up.